game. It's fine. We're getting into the game, though, for our second one of the day. Domino, obviously, these are some of the changes to Annie. She now has her passive charge at the beginning of the game. Don't have to kind of level an ability. Maybe you don't want to level. It means you can stay for whatever you want to go for. I don't actually know. W, right?
Yeah, so the thing is, remember that Annie passive just got changed to the point where she like starts with full stacks, right? So I think she could go W and get a free stun. Just looking at the compositions though, what I expect to see from the side of NORD is mid jungle play into bot side. You unlock that Lissandra to perma dive with that Lee Sin on bot lane slow pushes onto that Draven and Nautilus, and there's just nothing that the Annie and Jhin can do in theory. We'll have to see how Shackle matches that. Maybe like he stops the roams, and then maybe we get like maybe we lose the win condition from the side of NORD. I think that's the game plan. Top lane is going to be irrelevant, right? Top lane is just going to be farm fest. We do have two very good top laners in the game, who might be able to pull out some kind of miracle, but like realistically, nothing's going to happen because there's just two, Stonewall picks top lane. Bot lane's going to be the impactful one, going to be very volatile.
Yeah, I think this bot lane is going to probably be our one to watch, at least in the earlier portion of the game. As Gesing on the North, this is a bot lane you very much do trust in this game. So if you are NORD right now, you're going to be feeling pretty happy with them on that front. They're actually just immediately going to walk up. They get the slow, they get the stun, they get all of the damage. Woolite comes in with the cleanse, another root onto Snabby. And there it is, already a massive chunk out. Both summoner spells burn on Larry. Snabby burns the ignite. Woolite just burns the cleanse and Gesing burns the ignite, but they're going to be very happy with still having all of their summoner spells up.
Yeah, and Larry, like, it's not the end of the world for Larry, right? He did start boots for pots, so he does have a lot of sustain, maybe anticipates getting chunked like that, thinks he's not going to die, so he can just sit back now and just heal up to full. Right, so that's probably the idea here. It's like 2 more potions, just used 1, and a cookie. I don't know why we're seeing top. Essentially, nothing's going to happen, but both junglers are going to full clear down to bot side, it does look like. With bot lane being this chunked, I wouldn't be surprised to see Akabane and Fury maybe look bot side on this slow push. I feel like you can slow stack this wave, maybe to the next wave. Or this wave in general. Look at Akabane. He's already moving downwards. This looks like a dive already. They're fast pushing this wave. I think they're going to do something here.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Fury also is moving over to Hover for this one. Is scary with Snabby having the stun underneath the tower and no cleanse, but Snabby now just going to get warped at. Gesing can flash forward if he wants to. They're just going to zone and deny, a little bit of farm away. Obviously, the cannon is currently eating up a bunch of the tower shots, so they get a plate at level 2. That is a level 2 plate.
Oh, it's just so brutal, isn't it? This kind of lane. I didn't think the dive was that possible if they had Shackle there earlier, because Shackle did clear out the wolves. Plus, Larry and Snabby were full HP. I think they're opting in for this invade because Fury always gets the prio into this Lissandra, like on this Lissandra, and now Shackle just can't do anything. This is brutal.
This bot lane is losing the jungle matchup as well. This is so rotten. This is so rotten. What are they meant to do? No way. I was about to say, if Snabby flashed that bush with Shackle, that would have been a very interesting play. I appreciate that Domino didn't just decide to throw the game away at level 3.
And this is like a symptom of mid lane, the mid lane matchup. Like, Shaolin on this Lissandra just doesn't want to move. I think it's gone. He stole it!
That was illegal! He
just
jumped in and jumped out! Oh, Akabane is being a nuisance. He's a menace to society.
This is the kind of game where you're playing solo queue and your jungler is Rek'Sai and he's just threatening to AFK.
Yeah.
It's 100% the case, but you can see his only option now is to try and panic gank, but there's no way NORD doesn't see this coming. They have the wave coming into them too, and maybe they just call down Akabane, but Shackle, it's this or he just goes to top lane respawn camps. I don't think he can pull anything off here.
This is going to be incredibly hard. He actually got himself through the alcoves. They haven't seen him yet. See, with the Tremor Sense, he will be able to spot out when Gesing moves close enough. Coming in, they get the flash, they get the W. They're looking for the knock-up. Akabane's coming in. First blood to Shackle. He is fired out. He is answered out. Larry now getting himself rooted in place. They've got more CC to work with, but needs to find the reload. Akabane, low HP. They do miss the deadly flourish. A 4th shot might be enough. Gesing hooks a minion. Get behind me, Mr. President. That minion saved Larry's life.
I think Larry altered a minion too with that fourth shot. I think he could have killed Kasing. Maybe I'm trolling. Maybe this is
we need a replay.
A caster oopsie moment, but I think he altered a minion with that fourth shot. Look at Snabby here. His shield and just his damage in general is so surprising. I thought Akabane could maybe win this extended duel with that Conqueror, win those trades. Watch this auto. Yeah, he altered. It's like a minion. No.
Did he? I thought that hit Kasing.
I think it was a minion. Maybe Kasing's shield.
I think he W'd.
Oh, the wow with the solo kill. It might be a trade back though.
No, because Shackle's coming in to make sure that ain't happening. Flumpen just solo killed. Wow, what's happening?
Flumpen. I mean, this guy, right? Like, this is the top laner that a lot of top laners. I think we asked Banderas what his ratings on top laners are, and like Flumpen places highly on everyone's list because he is like formerly EULCS. For anyone who doesn't know, he's Flaxish, right? But renamed to Flumpen. And when I play against him solo queue, I always call him like incredibly mechanically adept, right? He's really, really good. Maybe this is showcasing some weakness in WoW's part off these like comfort picks, but I also think it's just Flumpen playing well.
Yeah, really, really well, actually, coming out from Flumpen there. Able to find that solo kill on a player who, you know, has been heavily bigged up and has basically turned this region into LFL Div 2, to be honest. The amount of French fans we have whenever WoW plays.
When does WoW play?
Kill. Yeah, when does... Well, right now. Well, kind of. He did just get taken out.
It's the classic question. Well,
this is the problem with Sion, is you do actually just eat quite a lot of damage versus the mini-Gnar. Especially when you have to stand still to charge that W up. Flumpen hasn't got the Gnar up and available to him, but is able to dodge away. WoW is getting slammed down here. What is happening?
That was such a nice leap. Flumpen, mechanics, I'm telling you. On a good day, this guy could be the best top laner in our league. Genuinely, he is so damn good at laning. It's very impressive every single time. The problem is, normally we see him tied to like these kind of low mechanical champions, and I can say that because I main the champion I'm talking about. Like he's tied to like Renekton, you know? Which is like lane dominant, but it's not that much skill expression. But with this like laning on the range champion, it's really impressive. Akabane just gets a solo kill. No, not a solo kill. They managed to collapse onto Shackle in the river. What happened there?
I think he was doing Crab. Oh, no, Crab's almost timed out. I don't know. I don't know why he was in the river, but he got Lissandra ulted, he got Akabane kicked, and WoW did ult in, but he didn't actually get in close enough range. Flumpen maybe feeling this. There is no Dragon's Rage available, and he's got enough damage onto WoW now that he can maybe keep this up. About to Gnar out, but meanwhile in the bot lane, Larry gonna get himself a kill onto one. Well, I can't find the damage. Flumpen has that R up and available, but he's gonna get himself CC to death as Akabane takes him out. Now back into the bot lane. Woolite chasing down, but Shackle on the hunt. Gonna just about miss out on that W. Pulling down some of those Lotus Flowers as Woolite now trying to get in range of the tower. The shield comes in thanks to the save, and Snabby able to make sure that Larry does not go down.
Maybe some overconfidence coming in from Woolite, making plays. So typically in professional play, you don't see plays come on both sides of the map very often. You know, you have Woolite diving to tier 2 Larry. On the flip side, you have Flumpen getting ganked by Akabane. You don't see this typically unless they're very strong. So maybe some like overconfidence here. Giving over win conditions towards Domino, giving them the opportunity to be ganked. But I just noticed something. In that topside gank, this topside of Lee Sin Sion, they've actually just picked the base damage kings because of like the buffs recently, right? Sion Q got buffed to do 20 damage at all ranks, which is enormous. On top of that, Lee Sin Q also got buffed, and the E, I believe. So just the buffs coming in clutch there.
No, really, really so. It's a bit interesting because, you know, if you're in a solo queue game and you see oh, well, I might have to hold that because that is a lovely little ward hop into the kick. Akabane been playing very, very well with his mid laner and just being able to find 2 kills nice and set up. But going back to the point, when you see a Draven go down 2 kills in the early game, you know that game is going to be difficult. Draven is a champion who wants to snowball, wants to get those kills, wants to you know, use that passive, but every time he dies, he sheds, I think it's 60 or 70% of his stacks now, if I'm right on the changes they did to him a little while ago.
Ooh, the exact number I don't remember. I think it's half,
more
right?
than 50 maybe, though.
Is it more than 50?
I think they gave him like a nerf on it a while ago. I'm gonna have to double check. I can't remember how many loses.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm curious now. You got me in my interest.
I swear they upped the number.
I think there's going to be a Herald down bot side, though, now, and with a match potentially into mid lane, but it does look like Fury's just going to be able to clear this out. And just highlighting Fury's actually on this Lissandra. This isn't something we've seen. Just as I was praising his Lissandra, I think he manages to die here. Yeah, that Chaos Storm? Not quite with that Aerie from Annie. Oh, this is the power of the Aerie Annie, by the way. The Aerie, the Tibbers on the Aerie keeps re-procking. Kasing just going for a flash hook there, misses. Unfortunately, nice try, buddy, but the Aerie on the Tibbers is really nuts, because the Tibbers will run you down, and the Aerie will keep going flying between the enemy and Annie, and it'll just keep procking. It's really disgusting, actually. Like, pile that on top of a Chaos Storm. It's a quite nice combo.
I cannot find the information.
Disaster. I knew this before, by the way. I knew how this worked. I'm really sad.
Loses 75%.
75, okay.
Sacks. Yeah, there it is.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, like, he's lost 75% of his adoration stacks twice. Now, luckily for him, that first one, he didn't have that many to lose because it was very early in the game. But he probably started to build them back up. But I don't think he's hit 100 yet. Probably has about now, but he has not been able to really get too much gold for himself as they are chasing onto Flumpum, but Flumpum able to move away. Not near to that Narbar, so it does need to be a little bit careful. Akabane, though, definitely a glimmering light for his team right now. 4-0 on the new buffed, the new and improved Lee Sin. Yeah. Having a very, very good game. I'm sure a lot of junglers are maybe sighing a breath of relief after seeing how much this champion's been buffed. No way. It's Flumpun snuck in.
Well, this is a really, really good tactic. They think Flumpun has actually recalled here, for sure. They think Flumppun's going to go answer bot wave, do this typical standard swap. Flumppun's actually cheesing in this bush here.
Oh,
I don't think Lord realize.
They brought the Scion up. They might have an idea,
Oh, they know. I think they saw him.
They must have seen. He's going to try and jump over. He's able to just about get away. The anti-stun comes in. But that's a big enough lockdown from the Lissandra to secure the kill for Nord.
I think it was the minion. I think it was the minion vision bending around the bushes, and they just managed to catch a glimpse of him. They were like, what is going on? Because there's no way that they didn't see him on that minion, and Woolite was walking up. So I genuinely didn't think they saw him until then. That's really unfortunate, and he just gets bursted out because minion are so squishy.
That is so unlucky for them on that front as Kasing and Akabane may just find themselves getting knocked up. The Gravity Storm's going to lock them both in place. You can't take the E out yet. Akabane's got so much damage as Whirling Death comes forwards. They're able to secure themselves a kill in a 1-for-1 trade, but the lockdown's onto Shaolin. He tries to get the shield. Flimpern's now coming in on the flank. Larry, can he find the damage onto Woolite? I don't know if he can. Flimpern nowhere near the Narbar as they are getting so much additional damage in. In comes the bouncing grenade. They're trying to get the jump out. They're able to get a little bit more damage. Akabane into 3. The sustain, the damage coming in, securing himself the double. Flimpun about to gnaw out one more auto attack, and he trades out. That was carnage.
What is going on? That was the most nonsense fight I've ever seen. Akabane, I think Fyompun managed to TP in towards the end there because he died. Or he just walked. No, I think he actually respawns and TPs. You can see he TPs to the mid lane tower right now, but Akabane here lives twice on very low HP, managed to get loads of Triumph procs, and then at the end there manages to wait until his Gore Drinker is all the way back up to survive again, to trade 1 for 2. I thought he was going to get a triple kill. Honestly, I genuinely did with those multiple Triumph procs here, where he times it. It does look like Domino's doing a really good job at juggling aggro and damage, but look at this Gore Drinker. 511 HP. I really thought he would turn this into a triple.
That was so nasty. Got the 3-man E Gore Drinker. Absolutely disgusting stuff. And then one final trade. Getting the Hyper Proc out
what
from the
What a crazy fight.
That was carnage. That was such a good fight. And we are back into action.
Is this a replay?
Securing himself a kill. It's a 2-for-1 trade. Akabane goes down a second time.
Can I have a breather? This is absolutely insane. Woolite with that Kraken Slayer just running down Snabby. I think we're going to get another replay of the fight. Akabane finding that engage again. With that Gordrick, managed to survive on a few HP, getting so much value out of this. I think Rek'Sai actually, Shackle on this Rek'Sai managed to find the pick, which is a decent shutdown with that Prowler's Claw. I think now what we're going to do is probably take a breather and go for the Dragon with that mid push. Always got to be conscious of that ability to pick off with the Rek'Sai and the Annie flash stun. So,
honestly, props to Domino to be able to play this game and actually be, there's a pretty significant gold lead between them and Nord right now, but these fights don't look like the gold lead gap. It's actually the opposite of the previous game, right? Like the previous game, it looked like the gold lead was way bigger than it was. and it was just kind of just general pressure. But Domino, they are just brawling constantly in. Unfortunately, every fight is at least 1 or 2 mana advantage in the favor of NORD by the time it's done. But even so, Domino are really trying to just put up for these fights and going toe-to-toe with NORD where they can. NORD will be able to pick themselves up this dragon for themselves. And I'm glad we can bring up the gold difference, because 2,000 of their gold difference is between Shackle and Akabane right now. Yeah. That's where a fairly large gold difference is. But Woolite has a pretty significant lead over Larry.
And I don't think you can completely blame Shackle for this. I say that as he postures from maybe a tunnel over. Well, you can see Snabby posturing with that flash Tibbers, you know? He's got that stun up there. It was a bit scary with Shackle over the wall. Regardless, I don't think you can blame Shackle for that individual gold lead, because that beginning of the game, that was brutal stuff. Having no mid prio and just getting invaded upon by a Draven Nautilus as well as a Lee Sin, what can you do? He went down, I think, like 2 camp, like his jungle and Crump, and then just couldn't do anything. Also couldn't find plays really well, had to trade 1-for-1 in a bot gank. Snabby, this guy is terrifying. You can see the power of that flash Tibbers just coming out constantly.
Yeah, Woolite's about to get cleansed over. It's going to tick over and be up and available to him now. So he's less scared of the Annie at that point.
Yeah.
Still scared because there's a Tibbers. But we'll, you kill him, Tibbers gets that movement speed and chases you down. Akabane getting his 2nd Rift Herald of the game. Also being able to pick up that first dragon. We assume that'll probably be used, I assume, in the mid lane to crack that tower open. Because right now it's a bit of a stalemate mid. They should be able to just find pressure without Herald to take this tower down. Backing off. So yeah, probably just can see the Herald go in the mid to secure this lane here for the side of NORD and open up the map for themselves, because they've been able to accrue a gold lead. Now they need to push the advantage they've got with it.
Absolutely. And I think the next big thing is Dragon. You could just see ping-ponging waves for now. You know, I think a lot of... See, the thing is, the fights that are probably going to happen are going to be so explosive and random, it's incredibly hard to tell what will happen, because the engagers are so fast, right? You have a Nautilus hook, you've got a Flash Lysandra, you also got random kick flashes you can make. Same with Prowler's Claw and Flash Annie Tibbers. I think it's incredibly hard to predict here, and whatever will happen, it will just be a team wipe. You know, multiple kills go down, and it will just be completely random out of the blue.
Absolutely. Well, looks like the pings are going down. Domino coming in from the enemy red side on the flank here. Snabby does have that flash. We heard the Scion ultimate come down the river. Shaolin might find himself in danger. Larry loses a lot of HP. I do believe Shaolin was that not able... He did hold his summoner spell, so he was able to walk away. Snabby has been spotted. It's just going to get a burst of movement speed as Akabane is going to chase him down, throws down the Tibbers to get the deadly flourish off the flash out from Snabby, but he's been followed up too. In comes Flumpin onto the side. Shaolin trying to chase onto Kasing. Woolite's low HP, but he's able to survive, killing Shackle in the meanwhile. Kasing does go down in the meanwhile. Akabane able to answer out as well. 1-for-1 so far. Shaolin's low HP. In comes Akabane chasing onto Larry. Shaolin limping out of the fight as the Slumpin able to get the stun off from the gravity field to deny WoW from chasing any further. Shaolin needs to get away as Larry's being exposed. What a kick from Akabane. Another chaotic carnage fight goes in favor of NORD. They take mid lane tier 1 and they're going to herald onto tier 2.
And you take a look at top lane wave as well. All the meanwhile, the macro is going in NORD's favor too, because they're losing waves top lane. I think they just have to send people top lane to potentially catch it. And now mid lane Herald charge, they're just winning all across the map on top of winning the fights. And this is what we're talking about. The engagers are so quick. It's a random WoW Sayonara to try and pin Shaolin, which turns into everyone being caught off. You saw Snabby on this Annie. He just had nowhere to go. He was stuck behind, and I think we just get a little pause here. Snabby does look like he's DC'd. But again...
yeah, I believe it was just a bit of hardware issues for him, but it should be a pretty quick fix, actually, on that front. This game has been carnage. I did not expect such a good banger. Game. I didn't expect this much of a banger, but we are getting it. I think ultimately you are seeing NORD proving why they are the better team of the two right now. They are still able to take these fights when they want. They're the ones forcing the issue. Domino doing a fantastic job of answering out and fighting back, but every time it's been a little bit NORD favored until it's now just completely NORD favored. Like, these fights are very, very one-sided. Having a little look at the early game, Akabane honestly was a menace. He was 4-0 in the early game.
Definitely the MVP.
Such a good game. So far, yeah. Absolutely. We'll see how the rest of the game goes. Kasing and Woolite, they honestly struggled early.
Was this a minion? Did he hit a minion here? Let's take a look for the 4th time. Is a minion?
He did.
No, he hit. No.
Did he? I don't know. Go back. Go back. Come on, observers.
See this. I
want it in slow-mo.
I think Kasing got the shield, but it was just because it was so fast that we just couldn't see it properly. Like, it was so close.
Oh,
Oh well.
I'm pretty sure.
We'll
I'm
know.
pretty sure you're right. It was definitely the W because there was no minion for him to auto where the bullet went. Oh, we're seeing it again. I want this in slow mo.
Absolutely. Right. I think Kasing's W just came up.
And this is so goofy that we're getting distracted this much by this one auto attack.
This is the kind of thing that really irritates me.
Yeah, there's no minion. Oh, there is. Of course, there is.
The shield doesn't pop. Yeah, he hits him, but the shield doesn't pop because it's so like frame perfect. You know?
Yeah.
It's absolutely frame perfect.
So weird.
Yeah, it was really hard to tell. Anyway,
if you're Larry, you are upset with that one. You're very upset with that one.
Yeah, I just want to highlight, like, you know, I don't think Domino's playing that badly, right? I feel like people called me a madman for voting Domino a couple weeks, like last week and this week, but I genuinely don't think Domino's that bad of a team. I think they can sometimes do goofy stuff like Silas support, but there's so many glimpses of hope, right? The way they skirmish, like in mid lane just there, with that whole chaotic fight, with that WoW Scion ultimate, they managed to still try and pin down Woolite. It was so close to actually killing, right? And there's so many signs where they're just so close to being good enough to beat this team or maybe contend with them, but it's not quite there yet.
This does feel like a team that if they survive the offseason and go into the summer split as this team, I think they could genuinely maybe not contest the top end of the table, but they could easily be a kind of 5th through to 4th team. I think, you know, playoffs is not out of their reach. I just think this team needs a little bit more time to kind of figure out what mistakes they've been making. There's a really promising hope to what was put together here. I just think they struggled to kind of find their identity and their play style, and it's kind of just come a little bit too late, and they're still struggling. I mean, I say struggling, but they are versus NORD here. They are versus one of the best teams in the league, and you're seeing why this team has impressed us to the way they have. You know, I feel like if this game was versus any other team, maybe not any other team, but like a bunch of the other teams in the league, this would be so Domino one-sided right now. This would be so Domino one-sided. But I think if you had this versus NORD Riddle already, unfortunately NORD right now, it was always going to be a harder one for them.
Yeah, and you know what I like how they're kind of drafting like kind of normally. You know, there's no random curveball they have to play around, because I feel like yesterday when they played Silas, it felt like they just had no idea what was going on. Silas just kept trying to invade to find stuff, but then he would like have to flash out at 3 minutes, and then it just ended up with him perma-roaming, never laning bot lane, and Larry having to 1v2. So yeah, I just didn't think it was like that great for them, because it didn't look like they had that much practice playing around it. Anyway, we are back into the game. What kind of state are we in? I don't really remember. I think probably going to contest that third dragon next.
8,000 gold lead might be your big giveaway.
Wow, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I mean, Woolite has gone from like kind of soft inting to being mega fed. This is what Draven does though. He gets a couple of those adorations that pay outs, and suddenly he just snowballs to a position where he is terrifying. I mean, we saw earlier an auto attack land onto Larry. I'm curious what items Woolite's rocking. Does he have his IE yet? Okay.
Oh.
So he has got the IE now. These auto attacks are going to absolutely butcher people. Are they looking for WoW?
WoW's pretty hard to kill here. I don't think they can kill the tower. Is he going to ulti the stun? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And he's unstoppable in that. Nice tribe. Identifies he's probably going to get dived if he stays. No use saving a tier 1 turret. Tier 1 turrets, even though there's a bounty on them, the objective bounty, something this is a lesser known fact, the objective bounty of a tier 1 turret isn't that high. It's 50 gold per person, which, you know, it's a potion per person. It's not that great. The bounties are typically way higher elsewhere. Is this a duo Baron? I don't think this is doable. It's way too slow.
They're chaos storming it, and they've got Timbers on.
It's way too slow.
WoW's just going to be able to interrupt this. This is not going to happen. This is so rough for them. Now they might try and find a way out. Snabby, he's actually out of mana. I don't know if he can even find the stun here. WoW is going to eat a bunch of Baron damage, but he's just going to say thanks for the leash, boys. As Larry gets himself taken out. Flumpen, though, does answer out onto Woolite himself. Misses the W, but the flash does come in the meanwhile. Shaolin getting himself a bunch of damage off onto WoW. They're going to look for the lockdown to try and pin him in place. They force the ult out as the Baron has been dissuaded. WoW now in zombie form chasing, but Shaolin is out of mana, running towards nobody, slowed by the Q from Fury. Maybe if Hakabane can find the kick, it should be enough. He gets a bit of movement speed. Flumpens in the area. Kasing, all he needs to do is land the hook. The kick connects. Shaolin goes down. Flumpens chunked. Another Jin trap comes in huge as Flumpen gets the movement speed off the hyper proc. Shackle coming in. Gets himself the two-man knockup. Locked in place. There's going to be the stopwatch. And down goes the robot. Flumpen Nas. Flumpen gets free. Deadly Flourish coming in. Can Larry close the gap? No, he can't. These fights are madness. They're utter madness.
What is going on? NORD looks so disjointed. It's unbelievable. Despite the lead, it honestly looks like they're having fun. There's a TP coming in behind. The fight's not over.
What is going on? They're still chasing. Right, Dragon's up. Let's not be too greedy, Lord. Let's just go for Dragon.
Snabby, I think he's going to try and drop a ward on Dragon, but ultimately this won't do anything. Shackle being dead and Fjumpun being dead. Fjumpun being, like, honestly, the strongest member right now in terms of these fights. It feels like probably going to dissuade this. But what was that fight? It feels like it was so disjointed. There's no way they can test this, so I'm pretty confident in that.
That was kind of close, I'm not going to lie. But Woolite actually losing a lot of HP here. They do get the knock up onto Larry. In comes the rest of the team, though. Snabby getting chased onto. He flashes. He misses the W. The laser beam's coming in. Woolite counting on the fancy feet to dodge the fourth shot of the Jin ult. Able to block it out. WoW pays the ultimate price, though. But somehow, Woolite survives.
And what is happening to NORD? I don't understand what's going on. In that previous fight, you have Woolite getting caught by Fjumpun. Fjumpun making miracle plays. Then you have Akabane doing something completely different to the other team. He's just soloing Baron for some reason whilst his team is fighting. And another engage like saying this is incredibly fun to watch.
Yeah, this is absolute madness. I think they're done with it now. I think they've gone for that. It didn't work. That's me low-key cursing it because I want more action. As Akabane is going to be a little bit careful here. Able to jump out. They do get the lockdown onto Shackle. Remember, he's very squishy with this build, and he is donezo. He is out of there. Shaolin teleports in just a little bit too late to be able to find more. Baron's up, and maybe NORD are going to be the team to grab it finally. They're on a pink ward, though, so they know this is going on. Tibbers is almost up and available, but no flash available to Snabby. Got that stun. This could be a messy fight once again. There's a Chaos Storm up and available. They do hook onto Larry. They're going in for the turn. Tibbers is missed. Tibbers is done. Double kill for WoW.
And WoW walks in behind to secure that hook from the Nautilus. Make sure they're pincered. Secure this Baron. Ultimately, this Baron was probably going over the way to NORD because of that lack of jungler in Shackle. Gonna try and maybe cross-map this for a mid lane turret, but ultimately, looks like he's just gonna die as well.
Shaolin! Not like this, and now Flumpun's taking charged up tower shots, gets the wallop off, but that was an interesting flash. They've got the Q on. Lee's coming in. Nah, he's down. They got the kick to the head as well. Do you know what? Domino they challenged they challenged Riddle as well, didn't they? And now they're challenging
5K
NORD.
gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, the challenge on this sense is a bit different in the sense where, like, these fights are explosive, and it's definitely not as much of a challenge as we saw previously. But I will say, back in the day, I remember when you started, I think it was M&M who were like the they were like the God Slayers, right? They were the team that were challenging like Diabolus and Fnatic and XL, you know, like our teams who were absolutely killing it back on the tower format. Shudders. But Domino are like kind of like a weaker version of M&M back then. Like, they are able to go toe-to-toe with some of the best teams in the league and actually make it look semi-competitive. Yes, the gold lead's huge, but the fighting has been at least closer than it should be. And I think that's the key takeaway. It's not that they are they're winning any of these fights, but they are challenging NORD in ways where NORD probably shouldn't be getting challenged.
This game, I didn't even realize it's 25 minutes in. I thought this was way, way longer than this because of the constant fighting. Does look like they're going to set up for 4-1 right now. Typical standard Baron siege. You know, you don't go 1-3-1 typically. It's just too difficult. Now you're going to guarantee that top lane inhibitor. Mid lane is getting engaged on. That Rek'Sai ultimate there, I think he just gets bursted out.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a mistake. I think, like, everything I was just saying about Domino has maybe slightly fallen apart now. As they are kind of making some pretty silly mistakes, and Shackle has died 8 times at this point. He is not having the greatest of performances, and we have seen Snabby miss a few Tibbers, a few Flash Ws. a few of those kind of major lockdown abilities has unfortunately not been able to quite land. As now with all of the inhibitors going down, NORD just looking to close this game out by the books, and it has been an incredibly fast-paced game. Do get the lockdown, the hook, and in comes the fight. The lock is there, and Akabane, 12 kills in. Knock-up coming in on to Shackles. He finds himself stunned. Larry does have that 4th shot, but he gets hooked on the back, kicked out, taken out by Akabane. Shackle, he doesn't want to go down a 9th time, is going to stopwatch, but Woolite will make sure that he is picked up, as Shaolin genuinely doing a serious amount of work on the Victor, but unfortunately for him, he doesn't have anybody else with him. Baron's still there. Teleport coming up. Waves getting pushed in on all fronts. Baron up waves as well. Supered up waves in every lane. Down goes the first turret. In comes the hook. Down goes the Victor. Snabby gets a stun, but it ain't going to be enough. As, oh my word, what happened to his health bar? Woolite not able to quite finish this one up, but there we have it. 27 minutes on the clock. A couple of bit of ego padding kills to close it out. 27 minutes. 30